or elder care facility. But we could. And if that happens, we want DHS to be equipped to act immediately and with urgency.
I want to assure everyone that the public health system in Arizona is prepared to respond to the spread of COVID-19 in Arizona, and we will continue.
This is a Fox News special presentation.
This is coverage of President Donald Trump's primetime address to the nation on the coronavirus, which the World Health Organization today declared a global pandemic. Good evening. I'm Brett Baer in Washington. The president will speak from the Oval Office, which carries, of course, its own significance. The president is expected to talk about decisions he's made to respond to the virus. Senior aides say the tone will be calming, but the actions listed in their words will be aggressive, as the president will tell Americans his #1 priority is the health of the nation. But he obviously also wants to maintain the nation's fiscal health after a roller coaster.
Stop the partisanship and unify together as one nation and one family. As history has proven time and time again, Americans always rise to the challenge and overcome adversity. Our future remains brighter than anyone can imagine. Acting with compassion and love, we will heal the sick, care for those in need, help our fellow citizens, and emerge from this challenge stronger and more unified than ever before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
The President of the United States about the next steps in handling the coronavirus crisis. Tonight, he announced the administration is suspending all travel from Europe to the U.S. for the next 30 days, starting Friday night. The administration, he said, will be trying to ease financial pain, the biggest effort to negotiate with Congress. Analysis continues now on Fox News Channel, on cable and satellite. Stay tuned for an all-new Lego Masters on this Fox station. I'm Brett Baer, Fox News, Washington.
This has been a Fox News special presentation.
And there you heard from President Trump from the White House speaking for just about 11 minutes tonight on the coronavirus outbreak and how the administration is trying to handle it and reduce the number of cases. As we've seen, the number now at about 1,300 across the United States confirmed, and just more than 3 dozen deaths so far. The president making a number of comments there, including that travel ban that he started out with from Europe to the United States for 30 days. That will start on Friday at midnight. It does not include the UK, but again, that may be impacting a lot of people's travel. But again, the president saying that is a necessary step to try to contain the coronavirus. He did say that the risk is low to the vast majority of Americans, and that the White House will also be.
We're getting a little bit of a break from the rain now, but things are really going to ramp up as we wrap up your work week. I'll give you all the details right after the break.
Still ahead, some in the studio as the coronavirus situation is still developing.
For the first time ever, as you can see, if you looked around, we made the decision not to have a studio audience, and this is unprecedented. This has never happened on
You didn't do it after 9/11?
They, a week later, they came back and they
And late night shows are also suspending their live audiences, and production of Survivor on CBS is now being postponed. The Scottsdale Art Festival saying that that event will go on this weekend as planned.
Fox 10 News.
And Christy is here now with a look at the weather for us. Christy, boy, we're talking all about the coronavirus. Of course, that is the news of the day. We have just learned some news here that Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, according to the Associated Press, have tested positive for the coronavirus. So up until now, it's been these cases where we've just known numbers. We didn't know who people were because
now
of
faced with names.
privacy rules, and they have come out and said that they have tested positive. So we wish them the best as this coronavirus outbreak continues apparently across the United States. So not an easy transition to weather, but we just wanted to pass that news along to everybody who's watching tonight.
Yeah, and obviously the weather has been somewhat active for us this week. We've gotten a little bit of a break tonight, but tomorrow you're going to want to pay extra caution as you are hitting those roadways because they are going to be very slick. We continue to see a large stream of atmospheric moisture, this atmospheric river bringing moisture across Baja and into Arizona, and with that, we are seeing very light showers tonight. Nothing that should make for problems during your evening commute or if you're going to be out on the roads tonight. You may see a few raindrops, but most of what we're seeing on our radar is really just sprinkles, not just for the south along I-17, and then actually a flash flood warning that is in effect. That affects places like Camp Verde, McGuireville, Montezuma's Castle, as well as Lake Montezuma. And then, not surprisingly, Tonto Basin still under that flood warning, but now it has been extended until 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. So 4 for Safford and 61 for Nogales. So if you need to get outside and get something done, maybe do it.
Plus, we will tell you, listen carefully, an NBA All-Star player has contracted the coronavirus. We'll tell you about the latest news and a cancellation of a game tonight in Oklahoma City. Stick around.
More, and Nicole, a big declaration today.
Yeah, it's a big step for the state. It means that they can tap into emergency funding.
There seems to be more news as every minute goes by. As for the Pac-12 basketball tournament in Las Vegas starting tomorrow, there will only be essential staff, TV network partners, and credentialed media, and very limited family in attendance. The decision based on the recommendation by the NCAA's COVID-19 advisory panel. This was Doug Haller earlier today in Las Vegas covering the Pac-12 tournament.
The mood here in Las Vegas it's changed. I mean, when all this started happening within the last 24, 48 hours, people were kind of saying that it was an overreaction to start limiting fan participation, closing off events. Now how that goes, but there's definitely a different vibe here to this event.
Now we are getting word that the NBA is going to suspend this season. They have to play it safe right now. As we said earlier in our sportscast, Rudy Gobert, who was an all-star with the Utah Jazz, has tested positive for the coronavirus. So now the question is, you know, how long does this extend, and how does it affect, of course, the Phoenix Suns and whatnot? We'll keep an eye on this story. We'll try to get some more specific information. We probably will hear from Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, sometime this evening, but certainly very, very significant news. And you mentioned earlier Tom Hanks and his wife contracting the coronavirus. So this story is changing literally by the minute.
You know, we had heard that this was going to happen because more people were getting tested. And as more people were going to get tested, we were going to find out more results. And then some people will report it, especially if you're well known. The part about the NBA, it makes sense. You're going to be, we've been told, you know, social isolation, stay away from people.
Absolutely.
You are in such close contact when you're playing those sports.
They have to. They have to make this decision until further notice. So we'll keep an eye on it for you. We'll be back a little bit later on tonight at 9 o'clock, and we'll get you up to date to the very latest news.
Yeah, it is developing by the minute. So thanks for joining us tonight. Team Z is up next. We'll see you at 9 and 10.
Have fans in the arena tonight and allow anybody who maybe was more vulnerable than others, such as anybody over the age of 60, anybody who had a illness, to get a refund for their ticket. Have to wonder if that circumstance could change in the next 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah, I would imagine we'll find something out here, concrete, Sam, as to whether or not that game will go off as planned, or if there won't be fans in the building. Just backtracking the Utah schedule here, they've played 4 of their last 5 games, Jared, on the road. So they've been basically around the league. They haven't been home in the last.
And when guys on the road, they're out having dinner, they're out out in the public, and that's the thing. So how do you trace where he's been?
Yeah. And again, it is about the players, but it is not just about the players. It is about team personnel, and obviously it's fans who we already had learned earlier tonight that tomorrow's Warriors-Nets game was going to be played without fans. But again, the breaking news that we learned about 20 minutes ago was that the NBA has suspended its season for the time being. Word is spreading around the league. Let's hear from Detroit Pistons head coach Dwayne Casey.
Well, again, it's you know, like I said before the game, it's unprecedented. I think it's a prudent thing to do, and what went on in Utah, I don't know all the information, but that just shows you how fragile everything is right now. So it's the prudent thing to do. I haven't. The announcement didn't come until after they had already gotten in the showers, and haven't talked to them as a group. But I know that they're all concerned, and rightfully so. And everybody in our league should be concerned. But I think everybody in our country right now, more than just basketball, is concerned. So we all have families. I'm concerned with my family, my kids. And so, we all have to take care of ourselves and look out for our fellow man. Well, again, that's what I said. That not only it shows you how fragile it is. Here it is, a player that is in our league that a lot of players have come in contact with. So that's a concern, and that's prudent. That's why it's prudent for Adam to suspend the season until we get a hold of it and get a grasp of it. Well, I don't know. We don't know. It should be a concern for everybody. And that's one reason why the league should be suspended until we get a grasp of what's going on. One is make sure my family's healthy, our players are healthy, and go from there and just take directions from the league and our organization. I texted with Mr. Gores before the game, and he was on the conference call, and he said that they're trying to get a grasp on it. So the league is working hard, trying to get a grasp on the whole situation. Well, again, it is. That way we can find out and see what's going on. And to see what the rules are, and if you're tested or whatever it is, and to make sure that we stay away from other people. I mean, the quarantine situation I think is real, not only for just basketball, for every day.
And again, the breaking news tonight: the NBA has suspended the season for the time being. Kobe White saying, "Well, just wait and pray." Here's DeJounte Murray. Yeah, I think we're all kind of feeling that. Doesn't feel real, but it certainly very much is real, and very much is a news story and a health and safety. You are testing negative for COVID-19, and again, this is we're going to have a stoppage here. And Sekou, I mean, to my knowledge, other than collective bargaining issues, this is the only stoppage that we've had in the league.
This is unprecedented. I mean, literally unprecedented. I've never heard of play being suspended for the potential of a spread of a pandemic.
Yeah.
This is uncharted territory
we're there now.
We're talking about right now.
We are
I know,
there.
And again,
I know people have been
for the
speculating about what would happen if this happened, but it's happened now.
And the World Health Organization deeming it a pandemic, which is significant,
Yeah.
and many people want to talk about the semantics of whether it needed to be deemed that, but now that obviously every continent outside of Antarctica has been affected by this, and pretty much everybody feels like they are in jeopardy of contracting the virus, that is, which is why they went and deemed it a pandemic. So now it has hit home, very close to home, and we're not going to have basketball for a time being. And it could be, who knows?
We don't know, yeah. We don't know, but I think it speaks to the education, the rapid education that
what we had thought tonight, coming into work to talk basketball, to see some great games, and some matchups that we were intrigued by, to get this type of news at this time, at this moment. It's just surreal, man. It just makes you realize that this is hit home, that this is serious. For the NBA, I've been around the NBA a long time. I was playing in the NBA when the first Gulf War happened. As a matter of fact, we was playing in New York, Madison Square Garden. There was a bomb threat. They had us empty out the garden. We didn't even get a chance to shower. Even that, the next day we played games. Yeah. We kept playing. So for the NBA to stop playing and suspend play for a specific amount of time, it tells you where we are.
And the spread, Sam, think about this now. I just got a text from Rex Chapman reminding me of this very important thing. You're talking about families, wives, kids, girlfriends, whoever is in close proximity to these players.
All the friends that come and go out your house.
Friends that come after games. That, you know, I mean, we're talking about a game that's played with a rubber basketball where people are sweating profusely all this time. I mean, I'm no medical professional, obviously, neither are you, but certainly there are going to be some people that have to weigh in on this, Jared, above and beyond what our understanding of this pandemic is. And I'm telling you, that if we just go by what we've seen and by the past 14 days of where the Jazz have been, this affects not only the Jazz, but every team they've played and every team the teams they've played have competed against.
Yeah. This is
it's hard to wrap your head around.
It is.
We're going to continue to try and get a reaction from all around the NBA as the news has come out tonight that the league has suspended play for at least the time being. Let's go out and hear from Langston Galloway of the Detroit Pistons.
Right now, just taking it moment by moment right now, trying to figure out, you know, the kind of NBA stance with everything that's going on. Us as players, we're being cautious. We're listening to the direction of what the league wants to do going forward. And we just, you know, just continue to just stay on protocol, not really trying to do too much right now with the fans, just trying to.
American people.
Thank you for joining us tonight on what has become a very busy day, an eventful day when it comes to the coronavirus. President Trump making a primetime address to the country about the coronavirus, and he laid out some plans on how he plans to limit the spread of the virus.
First, he's suspending all travel between the U.S. and Europe for 30 days. That starts Friday. Those restrictions won't apply to the U.K.
And meanwhile, the presidential primary, it is coming up, and Maricopa County. This is Magnus, and according to his Instagram, he's a 3-year-old lab and a certified therapy dog. And Magnus is making the case for the world's best workout partner, downward dog.
Nice.
He's someone doing sit-ups and push-ups, giving high fives. That is so awesome. And he's also somewhat of an influencer, by the way. He's got more than 30,000 Instagram followers, and after this video is on the news, he's going to have a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him. He's like a trainer. No, he's like, you're not done yet.
Yeah, that's not.
Get down and give me some more.
That's awesome.
I kind of need a dog like that to help me.
You know, I have this saying, life is half random. And this is the random side where, you know, it takes twists and turns. And this is something out of a movie. And you just don't expect it to happen in real life. But that's the randomness of the world we live in. And so it's stunning. But we are where we are, and we have to be smart in how we respond. We, again, as I just said, this is people's lives at stake. This isn't about basketball. This isn't about the Mavericks. This isn't about, you know, when do we start, or do we start, or how do we start. This is a pandemic, a global pandemic, where people's lives are at stake. And you know, I'm a lot more worried about my kids and my mom, who's 82 years old, you know, and talking to her and telling her to stay in the house than I am about when we play our next game. Look, we have a lot of flexibility. I don't want to speak for Adam or the NBA, but in terms of the NBA basketball side of this, we have a lot of flexibility because there's nothing that happens after June 12th when we typically end our season. So, you know, it's more important for us to get it right.
Did you have any concerns about playing in a packed house tonight?
No.
After a professional player just tested positive for the coronavirus, we have brought in Mark McClune, who joins us in studio tonight. Not only is this a serious situation, but there is video that is now being spread online of this NBA player who tested positive for coronavirus, physically touching all the microphones jokingly at a news conference.
On Monday, I mean, here's the video right here. It's from our CBS affiliate Dave Fox in Salt Lake City. Rudy Gobert was set to play tonight in a game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Utah Jazz in Oklahoma City. Take this full as you see Gobert in this video after his news conference on Monday. Before they left to go to Oklahoma City, he gets up and playfully plays with the microphones right here, walks out. He was in Oklahoma City tonight, set to play. He did not go to the arena. He tested positive for the virus, according to reports. Here's Devin Booker, Sun Star, upon learning of the news that Rudy Gobert had tested positive and the NBA has suspended its season.
What the f, bro?
Bro. What the f***
All right, man, hop on the jet. And again, that was video and sound of Devin Booker, Sun Star. He was playing a video game online, learning that Rudy Gobert had tested positive. Now, that video is making an impact, and as we kind of scan social media here, here's Adrian Wojnarowski, the first to report that the NBA will use the term hiatus to determine the next couple steps moving forward. The Suns will not have a statement tonight. They're following the NBA's lead. We said the NCAA is going to play March Madness right now in front of no fans. We'll see if the games even get played. The Pac-12 played in front of fans today, but not going to play tomorrow. The San Francisco Giants considering playing home games in the regular season in 2 weeks right here in the Valley. So are the Seattle Mariners, and the XFL this weekend will play in front of no fans up in Seattle, guys. Meanwhile, under Pelicans as well, and I mean, I don't know that we're going to have fans inside stadiums anytime soon. This is maybe the wildest sports news night that I've ever seen in my 20 years of covering sports.
You know, Jay Bilas is an ESPN, he's a sports analyst, and he was just on Twitter, and he makes this point saying, hey, listen, if the NBA has decided to suspend its season, how on earth does the NCAA allow these college athletes onto the floor, you know, if the NBA has suspended?
Well, and especially if someone tests positive in that situation, you think they're touching the ball, they're sharing the ball. There's so much contact going back and forth, and yeah, only 1,000 people can be inside that arena. Friends, family, credentialed media, officials, and the players, but that's a lot of people that could be in contact with each other. And I mean, if we're quarantining everybody here, where does it stop? And I don't know that we're going to have a live sporting event with fans or answers anytime soon, for sure.
Which will be interesting to see what happens with Cactus League play. I mean, we'll just keep knocking on wood that
looks like we're going to get rained out probably the next 2 days, so I don't think they have to answer that question. But the question certainly being debated tonight among.
I think everybody's looking to see what is happening with Italy in such a short amount of time, and a lot of people fearfully saying, is what's happening in Italy about to happen here? Right. And all the news that has broken in the past 2 hours, not easing fears.
Lightning fast tonight, for sure.
My goodness. Mark McClung, good to have you in the studio tonight.
I'm declaring a declaration of public health emergency.
The locker rooms, they were on the court, and they called the game, and fans were told inside the arena that the game would be called, and here were some of the fans, our Oklahoma City affiliate, catching up with the fans outside the arena.
As soon as they announced it, the entire stadium was like, boo! They were so mad.
See, man, I hope that ain't the coronavirus. And I asked one of the deputy right there, he said that was, somebody was sick. I said, oh, man.
It's completely understandable. The player safety is definitely utmost importance. I can't be upset over them canceling a game like
of the virus having a tremendous impact on the world of sports. Fox 10 has just learned within the hour that the NHL could make a decision tomorrow regarding how the league will move forward with games being played.
And the NBA, maybe you've already heard this, they have suspended the season until further notice after a Utah Jazz player tested positive Wednesday for the coronavirus. It's a move that came only hours after the majority of the league's owners were leaning towards playing games without fans in arena. And we're checking in with Jude LaCava about these unprecedented changes. This is, it's stunning, Jude.
It is stunning, no doubt about it, Matt, Carey. The coronavirus pandemic has rattled the sports world, so much so that the NBA has suspended the season. The Mariners are thinking about moving their opening games to start the season. And we're still waiting a word. It could come as early as tomorrow on exactly what the NHL will do. Now, this is what played out in Oklahoma City. You can see the Thunder players and also the Utah Jazz players. Rudy Gobert, who was an NBA All-Star this year, tested positive for coronavirus. Now, here's the key here. Believe it or not, the Utah Jazz are under quarantine as we speak, each and every player getting tested. This is what really created this whole really just tremor that rolled right through the NBA. Mark Cuban, this was during the Mavs game, was informed, actually picked up the news that the NBA has suspended the season. This was his reaction earlier tonight, actually during the game.
I mean, I walked over to my wife. It's like, do we send our kids to school tomorrow? You know, is it that big? And again, you know, it's like out of a movie. It's not even real. Don't jump to conclusions. You know, don't be rash about it. You know, do what's right for your families. That's what I'll do.
Now, keep in mind, the NCAA tournament earlier in the afternoon said we'll conduct our games, but without fans. And by the way, the Pac-12 basketball tournament will ban fans from the games starting tomorrow. So this is rolling right through the sports world. As I said, we expect the NHL to make a major announcement sometime tomorrow morning. We'll keep tabs on that. When we come back, we'll tell you what played out across the sports world, more from the Pac-12, the NCAA tournament, the NBA. Stay with us as we continue our coverage of the sports world. Just rattled by the suspensions and no fans allowed in these tournament games. More on that story in about 30 minutes.
Unbelievable, Jude. Thank you very much. Washington State, hardest hit by the U.S. outbreak.
Night. They got off their plane, they walked into Sky Harbor, and they watched the presidential's address when he announced the restriction travel from 26 European countries. Take a look at Sky Harbor. Little busy. We spoke to people who just got out off their international flights, a lot of them in disbelief.
Bar graph goes up, up, and up as each age group you go. It actually doubles every time you move into the next age group. Most of the people who have died, unfortunately, those 80 and older. Let's take a look at some other numbers. I know I'm going to throw a lot at you, but this is a really good website from Johns Hopkins University. They've really kind of consolidated everything in one giant map. On the left side, of course, total